Welcome to Trucking with Liberty. Today I'm going to be doing my filings, and if y'all want to follow along, chat in the background, go right ahead. Just got everything put in, so now I'm going to go ahead and start the filings, but obviously I'm not going to be able to screen share the filings part. I have some other interesting stuff, and we can also talk about what lies in store for us for 2024. Hope you all are having a happy new year, by the way. But let's see if anyone's going to jump in here. Right now, I'm going to be starting off with the IFTA filing. My point of even having this live is mostly to show how long it might take for someone with one truck carrier to be able to do all the filings. One thing I can show you, let's see if I can screen share this. Let's screen share a notepad. Yes. There we go. So the filings I have to do, you can't do that, it looks like. Okay. Yeah. There we go. These are the filings that I'll be doing today. Hey, both feet. So that's all the filings I'm going to be doing today. I know some people have wondered, how long does it take to do all these filings? Some of this stuff's going to vary by where you're based out of. I'm based out of Missouri. So I have to do, obviously, IFTA. You got to do a Kentucky filing. There are also some other filings that a carrier would have to do that I don't have to, because I don't have license or authority in certain states. For instance, New York State. Currently, I don't have license there or authority or whatever they call it for the HUT. So I don't have to do any filings on that. Wyoming's another one, I believe. There's some spread out, but if I don't go to the states, to me, there's not much point in actually getting the authority and then just having to do the filings. Like Kentucky, I got primarily because Kentucky is one of the states that touch Missouri, so obviously I do go in there on rare occasions, and instead of having to get a truck permit, I just went ahead and got the authority for it. So let's get started on the MoDOT filing for the IFTA. One thing I can screen share if you all want to see is my fuel economy went down for this quarter. I'll leave this up for you guys that might want to see it. It's all the way down here. One interesting thing, at least I thought was interesting, 4.2. Might need to make that bigger for you guys. Hopefully you all can see that a little better. 4.2. I had a layover last week up in Green Bay. Threw a wrench in my whole week. So I had got fuel just not far from where I sat for a full day. And I just wanted to see, I didn't do any idling. This is all just using the bunk heater plus 84 miles of driving. Ended up using 20 gallons for 24 hours, which put that fuel economy for that little bit of driving down to 4.2. So supposedly someone told me that the bunk heater is only supposed to use 1 gallon an hour, but I feel like 20 gallons, that's more than 1 gallon an hour. Because sat for 24, say it was 3 gallons. 317. So 1709. Yeah, I used a lot more than a gallon every 10 hours on that bunk heater, because even subtracting 3 gallons for, which would be 30 hours, which I didn't sit 30 hours, but still put the fuel economy just under 5 with both feet. Kentucky, Connecticut, New York, New Mexico, and Oregon all have weight distance taxes. All right, that's good to know. Yeah, I only got the Kentucky because the rest of those I don't ever go to. Eventually, as I grow the fleet, I will get those, but currently I don't have to have those since I don't go there. Bunk heater uses 1 gallon every 10 hours. All right, you're the second person or third or fourth. I don't know. I've had a few people tell me it's supposed to be 1 gallon every hour, and I'm pretty sure that is a bunk heater that I use, but I just think it's very interesting that my fuel economy went all the way down to 4.2 for sitting for a full day. So I don't know. Like I said, I didn't idle the truck. I got the bunk heater and the separate battery pack for the Park Smart system. So should be no reason it went down that low, but it did. So I don't know. I guess if I really want to do some calculation, 84 miles divided by, let's say, 7 miles per gallon, it should have only used 12.1 gallons for driving. And that's worst case scenario driving like 70 miles an hour, which I wasn't doing. So it used 8 gallons. Yeah, it used 8 gallons for the bunk heater for setting for 24 hours. Which is still better than idling. I'm not going to complain about it, but it is interesting that I use that much. Well, 7.9. So let's see. 24 divided by 7.9. Use 3 gallons an hour. Is that right? Yeah, 3 gallons an hour. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. That was, like I said, I got fuel there so close to where I had my layover just because I was wanting to see how much it actually used. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the... Oh, and if you're wondering, let's see, let me pull this up. My fuel mileage for this last quarter should be 7.75 miles per gallon, so it did go down quite a bit. Oser. I'm sorry, it's not Oscar. Oser. Yeah, that's what I always thought. Someone told me it's actually like half a gallon per hour, but I always estimate a gallon per hour for idling. Like I said, I don't idle the truck. That whole day, it was just running the bunk heater. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to complain about, even if it is. That wouldn't be 3 gallons every. Did I do the math wrong? I bet I did it, because that is not 3 gallons. So 24 hours. Oh, that's why I did it backwards. Not 3 gallons an hour. 7.9 gallons divided by 24. Is that right? 0.33 gallons an hour times 10. So 3.3 gallons every 10 hours is what that bunk heater used. Huh. Like I said, I'm not going to complain about it. But it is interesting. 0.33 gallons an hour for bunk heat. Anyways, I'll leave that up for you guys if y'all want to look at that. That's the Excel spreadsheet for my last, basically the last quarter. But let's get this file done. And make sure I have the right thing up. So if you, oh, sorry, that sounds a lot more accurate. Yeah. And maybe because of the age. I mean, that bunk heater came with the truck, so over time it probably is less efficient. So how do I calculate my the miles I drive in each state and the gallons I use? So I go kind of old school with this. I can show you guys this. Let me make sure it's not. Yeah, it doesn't show anything. All right, so I got Motive as my ELD, and it tracks all the miles. And when I say go old school, this is what I mean. Like, so I got Motive that tracks all my miles for each state, has the gallons. Then I also got pull it up. There we go. Trucking office. And this shows also the gallons and miles. So trucking office is not linked to my ELD at all. I do this because the miles should be around the same number. The trucking office should actually be less than what the Motive, because this is not going to show in full detail every mile driven like the ELD will. But I do this, I put it in twice because I have caught discrepancy, like I forgot to put a fuel transaction or something in and it threw off my miles. But those are the miles I drove in each state and the gallons. And then that's the Motive. And then whenever I do my filing, I go off of this, the Motive one. So let's go ahead and see how much I owe, or see if I get any credits. So this really doesn't take too long to do. It's going to take me longer just because I'm doing it while I'm streaming. Oh, and by the way, I got audited. That's the other news. It's not a big deal. It's audit for IFTA for a full year. I got audited the last 2 quarters of 2022 and the first 2 quarters of 2023. So I will let you guys know when it ends up coming of that. I already sent them all the information. We'll see if they need more or if what I sent was good enough. Yeah, some of you guys are probably seeing the total miles I drove, and like you all drive a lot more than that, I bet. But like I said, I try to stay local. The one thing I do not like about the way MoDOT has this IFTA set up, and I have a feeling all of them are this way, is you cannot put decimals in. You have to go full miles, full fuel. So by the time you get all these entered in, a lot of times it does not come out correct. So then you got to take a mile away here, add a mile there, whatever. It's a little inconvenient. Like Missouri is 0.5. And some, yeah, this gets fun. I can only imagine how fun it is for the guys that run all 50 states. Illinois. One thing I do like about doing the filing with the IFTA system is you could leave them blank and they default to 0. So I don't actually have to go to every single state. Kentucky. Oh, good. No Kentucky miles, which means whenever I do the Kentucky filing, I just have to put no miles. So, Minnesota. Missouri, North Dakota. Yeah, this quarter was the first time I went to North Dakota. Look at all those miles I put in there. 36. Some of you are probably wondering, how in the world did you only drive 36 miles in North Dakota? I just barely went in North Dakota. That's how. And Ohio. Oregon. Or Oklahoma, not Oregon. And Wisconsin. All right, let's. All right, let's see if I did this right. So, do 2,080 gallons of fuel. One thing that the MODOT system does is if you put too many zeros or fives in, they think you're just rounding. So, like, my total distance is 22,200. If I put that in, they're going to think that I'm not doing it accurately. So I put in all the miles, rounding up where I needed to, rounding down, and still it came up with 22,199. So I put it as that. And well, so my trucking office went, oh, you know what? I forgot. That's because it has not the true distance. So let me, I could probably share this. Yeah, it's not showing anything. So we'll do this. Yeah, there's nothing showing. So here we go. This is my IFTA return. Well, not filed yet. So for that quarter, it was actually 7.93 miles per gallon. With both feet, I have a part-time bookkeeper for all this stuff. She just prepared almost the reports like this and P&L. I wouldn't make it if I had to do it all myself. Yeah, I can understand that. This is a lot. in all honesty, I forgot to. Well, I didn't forget. I just have put off putting in all this fuel purchase stuff into the motive system. So I was going to go live a little bit earlier. I don't know if you all saw that. I had it posted for like 10:30, but I didn't end up going live till like 11 because I was entering all that stuff. Are you considering getting bookkeeping help when you add a driver? Are you a control freak like DIY and won't let anyone else do that? So it's me and my wife. So she helps out. We both work on it. So I don't know if it came to a point where we had quite a few drivers. Yeah, I'd probably hire it out. I don't have a problem hiring it out if there's a need. But right now, I think it'd kind of be a waste. Plus, I am kind of a control freak because if I hire someone to do it and then they mess up, it's on me. It's not on them. So I am a little bit of a control freak. You still need to do a separate filing for Kentucky showing 0 miles for every quarter if you don't run there. New Mexico is the same way once you sign up for an account. You have to file a quarterly. Yeah, I had that notepad up. It's on the list. I do it every quarter, even if I don't drive there. One thing about Kentucky that I did find out, I think it was last time I did the filing, if you don't run there, I think it's for 8 consecutive quarters, they will revoke your license. So I do have to run there at least once a year. Yeah, even if you run 0 miles. Yeah, I understood what you meant. Yeah, but 7.93, I'm happy with that. Like, as you guys know, 2015 Freightliner with a Cummins ISX, even nearly 8 miles per gallon, I should not be getting out of that. And I wouldn't submit this, so it will show my company name, so I got to take that away. Here, if y'all want to look at that Excel spreadsheet, or here, I'll put the tax schedule up for anyone that might have came in later. That's the schedule of all the filings I'm doing today. Let's get this one knocked out. And I overpaid by $24. Sweet. That's good. I always go for the cheapest fuel, obviously, after IFTA, but I ain't gonna lie, having a credit every quarter is nice. And I'm not going to request a refund. I think the third quarter last year I actually did have to pay in, but I had the credit, so I didn't actually have to pay. It just took it out of my credit. And so good there. And the Missouri IFTA filing is now complete. So save it, and then we can move on to the next one. Oh crap! No. If I don't fat finger this, anyways. There we go. So the IFTA is now completed. And what's next on the agenda? Kentucky. So, what are your guys' plans or hopes for the new year? Did they change my password? Yeah, a lot of times this is half the battle with these portals. They'll reset your password. So now, gotta reset that dang password. All right. Now we should be into the Kentucky one. So 2024. What's our goals for 2024? So I do have my dedicated run back. Not sure if I actually announced this on this channel yet, but do have my dedicated run back. Starts tomorrow. And I'm not going to get in any rush, but this year I am going to try to get at least one owner-op hired under my authority. I would prefer that person to be out of Missouri, and if they are, they would be able to take this dedicated run. And it is a pretty good paying dedicated run. The worst part about it, if there is one, would be the fact that it's in the evening. When I run it, I'll start like at 4, get off at 2 in the morning. So start at 4 p.m., get off at 2 a.m. But the time you get off will also live in Missouri. Just as the time you start would depend on where you live. My immediate goal is for another cup of coffee. Be right back. All right, no worries. No worries with both feet. Don't worry, I'll be here. It'll take me a little bit to get these done. Half the battle is these things sites make you change your password every so often. And I don't know if there's a lot of carriers trying to get on the Kentucky servers right now, but it is not wanting to load. All right. Come on. There we go. All right. So Kentucky, if you all have seen the Kentucky filing video that I made, this is going to be just a refresher. But basically, whenever I do my Kentucky filing, I always check the inventory. Because if, supposedly, from what I've been told, if you go in there with a vehicle that is not listed on here, and when I mean vehicle, I mean the tractor unit, they can seize it. I don't know if they will, but they can. So I always go in there, check the VIN number, make sure it's listed. Mine is listed, so I'm going to go ahead and file. I mean, it only takes a few seconds to go over to that tab and do that, so I think it's worth it. All right. Yes, we do want to file for the fourth quarter. Did we run any miles? No, we ran 0. Report no operations? Yes. Do you want to submit a request to cancel? No. 0 due. File 0 tax. Slowly loading. Print tax return. Sure, this is obvious to the rest of you guys, but always save anything that you file, even if it's a 0. Like, I say mine as KYU, and then the quarter 2023, quarter 4. If they ever come back at you saying you didn't file it, then you got proof you did. And that is complete. I do have to update my address. For some reason, they got the wrong address in here. So, thankfully, I checked that. And now the Kentucky filing is done until March. No, April. All right, so that one's done. You interact. That is the unemployment for Missouri. There we go. So this is something that you all may, like, if you run a carrier, you may or may not have to do. I am paid on a W-2, so I do have to do both the U-Interact and mow my tax every month. Well, every quarter for U-Interact, every month for mow my tax. Mow my tax is the wages the state tax taken out of the wages. With both feet, I just bought another truck, at least a small warehouse shop. I need to epoxy coat the shop floor to protect against oil stains and the like. Should take most of the week to do that. I wish I had a shop. Jeez. I just changed. Thankfully, it was last week I changed my... No, it was 2 weeks ago I changed my oil on my truck, but I just do it out in the driveway. I have a driveway big enough to put the truck and trailer. You all have seen it on other lives that I done, I'm sure. But yeah, I just do it right out there. Thankfully, it was like 50 degrees, so it wasn't too bad. After I get that epoxy down, I need to fly out to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and pick up my new truck and drive it back to Idaho. That is one thing I'm looking into. I keep going back and forth with a brand new truck or a used truck. I have a feeling I'll get a used truck at this point, but that changes day to day. I like the idea of a new truck, but even if I were to get a new truck, put basically nothing down, the payment's going to be right around $4,000. It'd actually be a little under $4,000. So I was surprised by that, but not sure if it's worth it. Then I need to get a wet kit installed on the truck. I will have a hydraulic place put that on. Wet kit. I am ignorant. I probably know what a wet kit is, but what is a wet kit? All right, so you interact, and let's get this taken care of. Y'all probably gonna laugh, but every time I do these, I do them once a quarter. So, well, other than the mow my tax, I got that thing memorized. But all these other ones, I pretty much have to go back and look at the one I filed before just to make sure I do it correctly. So let me pull up Q3. Ah, that's what it is. All right. So we are going to get this taken care of. Contribution wage report. File contribution wage report. Yes, for the fourth quarter. Who am I? I'm me. And that is my phone number. All right, so for each month, what was the pay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so if you're wondering what I'm doing, me and my wife get paid salary, and now I got to calculate how much we get per week and multiply it out. All right, so there's that, and there were 4 Fridays. And then there were and in December, I think there were 5 Fridays. Yes, there were. So, all right. I just did that wrong. That's asking for the number of workers, not how much each month. There we go. All right, so all right. All right, so let's make sure. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. Did I do that right? All right. Oh, there we go. Wet kick is a PTO that drives a hydraulic pump. My customer has a short run where we need to empty an in-dump trailer. So we need the hydraulics. I have an old Mack day cab currently, but I have no backup. Oh, so you're getting a backup truck? I'm considering that. I know what you're talking about with the hydraulics now. I've seen those on other trucks. Got to use 2017 Cascadia with. Geez, that's right around what my truck has on it. 679,000 miles. My MO is to buy cheap trucks at a 300,000 mile 3-year warranty. Do you care to share who that warranty's through? Like, I assume it's a third party aftermarket warranty. That's my biggest, actually, that's the biggest and pretty much main reason I'm even thinking about a new truck is just for that warranty. So quite honestly, if I could get, a 3 or 300,000 mile warranty, that'd be good enough for me. And I just get a $40,000 truck and call it good for 3 years. Because I'd be able, if I even got a loan on it, I'd be able to get that paid off in no time if I didn't have to worry about the repairs. So that. Well, I don't complain about that. All right, so that one is almost done. Just saving them. All right, so that's done. All right, now that the U interact's done, I assume your 2017 that has a Detroit in it. Okay, you are not the first to tell me that. Premium 2000. This is my 4th truck with their warranty. I have more trucks than drivers, so I can work around the downtime. All the warranties have more than paid for themselves so far. Cost is around $13,000 for the warranty. 3-year warranty for $13,000 here. Even if you did that per year, 13,000 divided by 3, 43, 44, 43.50 per year. Sorry about that. My wife can do something. $44,333 a year. That is well worth it. Shoot. Granted, I probably have not spent more than that per year on my truck. That ain't bad. That's good peace of mind. All right, so we got that one done. Now we want to do my tax. Yeah, I might go your route with both feet. Just get a used truck that I like and call it good. Because I'm not going to lie, I'll have my truck paid off here probably around April. I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't want to get another loan if I could help it. Why not? There we go. DD15 with DT12, fourth Cascadia with the same drivetrain. Yeah, that's what I'm most likely going to get. I mean, granted, I can't complain a whole lot about my Cummins. That ISX has been pretty good to me, but there's no way it comes close to the fuel mileage you guys get. And where we go with that? Yeah. Just out of curiosity, what gear ratio you got in that with both feet? Because I run pretty much just in Missouri for the most part, and I am looking towards getting. If I got a new truck, it'd be a 2.17 gear ratio. If I get a used truck, I'm looking pretty close at the Schneiders because those are the ones with the lowest gear ratio that I could find because I don't need anything for pulling hills. I mean, even if I get heavy loads in Missouri, where I drive, there's not much for hills. So I'm just going to get whatever can do the best on the flats. They don't cover everything, and there's limits to how much they will pay for certain repairs. I have still come out of pocket quite a bit. I guess it'd just be something to look into. But, I mean, it sounds like they've paid quite a bit for you. So, and everyone I know that I've had Premium 2000, they don't complain about it. It seems like they get paid pretty well. Like from what I heard, the biggest thing is they'll cover it. It's just they may not cover it quick. And that's the only drawback I've heard from people is they get something covered, but then it takes a while for it to actually get fixed and approved. So then the driver ends up just paying for it out of their own pocket because they can't wait. That's a common theme I've heard about it. All right. Oh wow. You got pretty much every gear ratio. I have 3.31, 3.08, 2.85, and the new one is 2.41. Just out of curiosity, I'm assuming the 2.41 is going to run the lowest RPM at 65 or 70. Just what do they run at like highway speeds? Like what RPM? Because that's the biggest reason I'm trying to get a lower gear ratio. Because they would all be 12 speed with that DT12. Yes, there are a lot of hoops to jump through. Most shops don't like dealing with them because they have to run a computer report, send lots of pictures. You know, quite honestly, what you are doing as far as having multiple trucks is kind of what I was considering if I got another truck. But my problem with this idea is if I get another truck, one's going to be sitting half the time, obviously, because I'm just one guy. And that's not good for the trucks. So, I don't know. I would like to have a backup truck. That way I could just, like, when one goes down, just put it in shop and who cares how long it takes to get fixed type thing. Because the alternative to that is having to do like rentals or something. And I did go down that route before. I have rented a truck in the past, as you all have seen on my past videos. I was not much of a fan of it. I mean, that Penske I rented, it was a day cab, and it got substantially worse miles per gallon than my truck got. Granted, it was a Volvo, but supposedly Volvos are supposed to get good fuel mileage, I thought. All right, and my tax is done. And now a federal 941, and you got to do that through 1099.com. Well, you can use whichever one you want for electronically doing it. You could do it yourself. You could fill out the form yourself, but I use 1099. And the only reason I use them is because that's what my old accountant recommended. So I'm going to start a new filing. And I also got to do the 940. All right, so federal 941. Three cheaper paid off trucks with two drivers is a good start. Hopefully you don't have two trucks break at once. I'm sure that could happen, but that would be pretty bad luck. It'd be very bad luck. I would think that'd be just really bad luck. I don't see that actually being a realistic thing that would be at all likely to happen. It could, though. I understand that. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason I do want to hire another driver, because if I have a backup truck, that backup truck could be a backup to also the other driver, even if it's an owner-operator, because I know that's something DIY does, where he, at least maybe I'm not correct on this, but I think DIY actually has so many drivers, and then he has a backup truck, and if one of their trucks go down, they have the option to, I believe, rent it from him to use as their own. I don't know how all that works, but that is something that I would like to have an option for any owner-operators that I might hire. All right. And anyone joining, what I'm doing is my end-of-the-year filings and quarterly filings. This is just to serve as like a behind the scenes, I guess you could call it, of how long this stuff takes to do. And what did I do? That ain't what I wanted. Okay. All right. love how this thing takes it over to 2 pages and asks, what was on line 14? All right. All right, so the thing is in. Now I've got to take the amount shown on, let's see, what line is it? I got to sign this real quick. All right. Take what is on line 2A. And now let's open up EFTPS to pay electronically. And then we don't got to worry about the check getting lost in the mail. Payment. Right. The government changed it, so now I have to log in 2-factor authentication through the phone, so I gotta wait for a dang text message to come through. And I don't get service in this room. Be right back. All right. Yeah, living out in the middle of nowhere with no service, it kind of makes it hard to get this 2-factor authentication text. All right, let's see. Now we're logged in. I have needed repairs on 2 trucks at once, but most of the time a truck with an issue can still be on the road. Lots of sensor issues won't derate the truck. Minor leaks can wait a few days, etc. That's true. I think I've only had one time where my truck was actually down where I couldn't use it. And that was something to do with a high pressure rail for the fuel. Yeah, that time it barely made it to the shop. And there's a reason I know what I don't know if you all watch Snorlord. It's been probably months ago now, but there was a garbage truck company that was shut down because they were running nothing but deleted equipment. And I know a shop most likely deleted their equipment because while my truck was in the shop there, they offered to delete mine. And I'm not going to say who it was, but yeah, I won't go back to that shop, even though they did do good work. They got that done fairly quick, so I can't complain, but I don't know if I want my company associated with another mechanic that's deleting trucks just on the off chance I get in trouble somehow, even though they didn't delete mine. Anyway, with the new truck, my goal for the first part of the year is to find another dedicated customer to haul for. Yeah, I've been dropping the ball on that. I need to be getting on that. Problem is, I'm so I'm busy. I can't go out and talk to these customers that would probably let me haul for them. I mean, the ones that I was looking at were hauling batteries back to recycling centers, which ain't bad. I mean, it's easy, just pick up when they'll call and could schedule just anytime pickup within a few days. And I don't even think you need an appointment for the recycling centers, most of them. But I just have not gotten on that. This dang site has like 3 different passwords you gotta enter. My current deal is very sweet, but all my eggs are in one basket. I want to start to diversify. I understand that. Good idea. When the shop gets caught by the feds, we'll look into the records and start looking into past customers. Yeah. When they do, they'll literally see that all I had is a fuel pressure rail replaced, or I believe that's what the part was. Royalty in the house. Hey, DIY. Just found out your package never shipped. I'll resend it. No worries, DIY. I'm just glad it didn't go to the wrong address. Well, you know how long these forms take to file, DIY. Although, just out of curiosity, I know you like mailing stuff in the mail. Do you ever use this EFTPS service to be able to pay the IRS directly? I use it. I like it. If you don't use it, I'd check into it. Oh, you do? Yeah, I like it a lot. The only thing I don't like is there's like 3 different passwords that you gotta put in. Oh, for payroll? Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, the 941. The income, that's at the end of the year, I believe. And I just let my accountant do that one. Unless I'm doing this wrong, which, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised the accountant lets me even do this. All right. And now the 941 is done. Print this off as proof that I paid it. All right. So that is done. That is filed. And I'm not going to e-file this quite yet because I want to make sure, because my accountant said, as y'all can see on here, I need to do a 940 as well. I'm going to look into that before I actually file it, because if that is something that I am not as familiar with, I'm going to let him do it. A lot of you guys probably have all these forms memorized. I do not. What is the 940? Let's open it up and see what it is. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to let the accountant do this one. I'll go in 940 and W2. Accountant do. All right. If it is not something obvious, I know what to do. I am not going to take a chance of doing something incorrect. So let's go ahead and get this other one filed, the 941. There we go. Submit. $5. All right. As I said earlier, one thing I do like about doing it myself is I know it's done. I won't necessarily say I know it's done correctly, but I know it's done. And if it's done incorrectly, I will learn. Me personally, according to what my old accountant told me, these quarterlies, if you mess up on, they're able to fix it at the end of the year. That's why she trusted me to do these quarterlies. And then at the end of the year, if I messed up, they're able to fix it. And from what she told me, there's not even fees for mistakes. As long as it's fixed with your final filing, there's no fees or no penalties or whatever. So it saves me quite a bit of money to just do this myself. Plus, less hassle wondering if the accountant actually filed it or not. Huh. The IRS e-file system is down. Learn something new here. Let's see. You know what? I can share this. This is interesting. Yeah, hopefully it has my stuff blocked. Which one is this under? Well, I can't figure out how to screen share it. The e-file system for the IRS is shut down until January 8th, and it's shut down yearly, apparently, from November 27th all the way to the beginning of January. In our case, January 7th. So even though I just submitted mine, it will not be received until the 8th at the earliest. So that's interesting. Go ahead and save this, showing that we actually sent it. All right. So 941's done, and we are all done. Yes, we are all done. Anyone got any questions? Because we... So how long did that take? A little over an hour. We got our IFTA done right around 8 miles per gallon. We had no miles in Kentucky. We got our 0 mile filing done in Kentucky. We got our unemployment done, payroll for the state done, got our 941 done for federal. We got the 941 paid or set up for payment. And then the last two, the 940 and the W-2, I'm leaving to my accountant because that is an annual one. The accountant did tell me I could do them, but shoot, they got to do my final return anyway, so let the accountant make sure that we got this stuff done right. So if anyone else has anything else, go ahead and ask in the chat. Otherwise, I want to go ahead and end this here. So we were right at a little over an hour for me to get all those done. So this is the type of stuff that if you do have your own authority that you will have to do yourself. Oh, you know what? I'll finish it off with a little bit bonus, this Excel spreadsheet. I'm real fond of this thing. So my fuel mileage for the last quarter. Let's zoom out a little bit. I got this way zoomed in. Just go off this. It's still zoomed in too much. Miles per gallon, it has went down, but that steep one is because at 4.2 where it was only 20 gallons and for 85 miles of driving where I sat for a full day. Cost per mile, yeah. Fuel economy has went down because of the cold weather. DIY trucking. I hope he's home, but according to his last video, it looked like he was trucking. Both feet. Thanks, Don. Reminds me of why I hire this stuff out. I am a slacker. Hey, if you got other things to do, I mean, this stuff is monotonous. And shoot, I even wonder if I'm doing the stuff right. But as I said, my previous accountant said that you can't really mess this stuff up. And if you do, as long as you have the accountant do the filing at the end of the year, they can fix it. And there's no penalties or interest or any of that stuff. Supposedly, even though like my contribution wages for the state, I have to pay monthly. Even if I completely mess that up and say I don't pay at all through the year, as long as I pay at the end of the year, there's still no penalties or interest charged. So I don't know. I don't understand it. I will never do the annual. There ain't no way I'll ever do the annual end of the year filing, but quarterly stuff I'll do. I kind of enjoy doing the IFTA. That's my favorite. Even fuel economy for DEF is going down. We are probably 170, 180 miles per gallon for DEF. So, I don't know. It's getting cold. Starting to use more DEF. Fuel economy has went down considerably. Granted, this last quarter I was not doing my typical 55 nearly as much as I'd like to, for a variety of reasons. But here, this one right here, I'll zoom in so make it a little bit bigger for you guys that might be on cell phones. 6.4. That is the worst fuel economy. Oh, here, let's take that away. 6.4 miles per gallon. That is the worst I have gotten in a very long time. The only thing I will say, and I don't know if this has a lot to do with it, I did do a PM service in between the two. Oh, and I did idle the truck for an hour at home, but I wouldn't think that would make it that low. But I did have to idle the truck for an hour because I didn't have a battery charger hookup to it. So I do have a battery charger hooked up to my truck now, so that should not be an issue. Sterling's in the house. Good morning, kids. With both feet. In Idaho, I don't have unemployment or workman's comp as the owner, so there's not as much to keep track of myself. I believe I wouldn't have to pay that stuff if I didn't pay myself W-2, but me and my wife are paid W-2, and the company is set up as an S corp. And our accountant just, the reason it's set up that way, and I'm not trying to give any tax advice, but the reason ours is set up this way is on the advice of our accountant. That's the only reason. Sterling will. Numbers hurt my brain. Me brain. Yes. With both feet. Sterling, what's up? Sterling doing well with both feet. Going to work on the tractor a bit this morning. You going to go live, Sterling? Because I'm about ready to wrap this up. The main purpose of this one was just to show people that wanted to know how long it took. Just the basics of how long it takes to do the quarterly filings. Again, I will never do the annual. I'll gladly pay an accountant to do the annual, but quarterlies, if I can't do damage, I'll do it. You want to save a buck. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks for joining, you guys. Oh, with both feet, I am an S corp as well. Even W-2, Idaho doesn't do those for the owner. You can't do W-2 if you're the owner of the company. Shows how much I know. I know here in Missouri, according to my accountant, unless she was telling me wrong, but this will be the third year. I haven't gotten in trouble yet, so we're going to stay the course. I will meet with my new accountant here probably this week, because I want to give them all the stuff and be like, hey, let's get this stuff done like now. You can do your show shortly after breakfast. I'll text you, Sterling. I got to check with the wife. That might be able to work, though, but let me check with her. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I thank you guys for joining me with this. If y'all have any questions about quarterlies, IFTAs, or anything revolving around what it's like to run a carrier, or should even be an owner-operator, if I could help, just let me know. And if anyone's in Missouri by chance and wants to take my dedicated run away from me, let me know, and I'll look in to see if I can hire you on as owner operator, and you could have this dedicated run. Like, I have nothing against it. Pays well, pays really well, but trying to grow the carrier this year. So anyways, y'all have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.